Hello everyone, this is Evan from Common Combos. Today, we've got a classic, Flash Hulk. A combo so powerful that you're no longer allowed to play it anywhere but Vintage. A combo so powerful it warped Legacy around itself, becoming the deck to beat while it was legal. Flash, a card synonymous with broken combos nowadays, was originally printed in Mirage back in 1996, to little acclaim. It wasn't until the printing of a card called Academy Rector where problems began to arise. Flash reads, "You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, sacrifice it unless you pay its mana cost reduced by 2. How about instead of finding a Yawgmoth's bargain with the death trigger of Academy Rector, you just win the game instead? With Protean Hulk, you can. A card printed in Dissension in 2006, it reads, when Protean Hulk dies, search your library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle." We're going to be going through the OG combo today, as I believe it's cooler than more recent versions. Literally the only requirement for this to work is to have 2 lands and Flash Hulk in hand. We're going to cast Flash. Once Flash resolves, we will elect to not pay the 5 extra mana that Protean Hulk would cost, and Protean Hulk will die. The Hulk's death trigger will find us Carrion Feeder and Karmic Guide. The Karmic Guide will enter the battlefield, and with its trigger, we will return Protean Hulk from our graveyard to the battlefield. We can then sacrifice the Protean Hulk to the Carrion Feeder, and Hulk's death trigger will find us Kiki-Jiki the Mirror Breaker. Kiki-Jiki might get its own BYOC at some point, but for now we are going to activate Kiki-Jiki to create a copy of Karmic Guide. Before that resolves, we are going to sacrifice Kiki-Jiki to Carrion Feeder. I am omitting the fact that Carrion Feeder gets a +1/+1 counter, as it is irrelevant. The copy of Karmic Guide from Kiki-Jiki will enter the battlefield and bring back Kiki-Jiki from the graveyard. Activate Kiki-Jiki again, targeting the Karmic Guide, and perform the loop until you have a satisfactory amount of hasty flying 2/2s and move to combat. Attack for a Google squared amount of damage. Flash is a card with a history similar to Time Vault. Originally, Flash was a card of little renown. There is no opportunity to respond with anything before the creature gets sacrificed from Flash. For example, you may not activate the ability on Gristlebrand before it is sacrificed. Back when Flash was first printed, there weren't any creatures with powerful enough enters or leaves the battlefield triggers to abuse until the printing of Academy Rector in 1999. Wizards clearly didn't want this interaction, so they gave Flash the functional errata. Choose a creature card in your hand. You may pay its mana cost reduced by up to 2. If you do, put that card into play. If you don't, put that card into your graveyard. And Flash was once again useless. Not much happens with Flash until 2007, almost exactly a year after the printing of Protean Hulk. Wizards decided to revert the power level errata and instantly broke Legacy in half. For those unaware of constructed formats such as Legacy or Standard, you have what is known as a sideboard for specific matchups. You can include cards that don't have a main deck function, but are silver bullets for your opponents. In the Grand Prix Columbus, dubbed Grand Prix Flash Hulk, which took place between the removal of the power level errata and the banning of Flash, 3 of the top 8 decks were Flash Hulk, and the other 5 ran cards in the main board to attempt to stop it. This ultimately did not work and Flash Hulk won. Subsequently, Flash was banned in nearly everything. If you'd like to know more about the specifics on this Grand Prix, there is an excellent video linked in the description going over everything. Flash became exclusively playable in Commander, and then later in 2020 became one of the first and only bans done with competitive EDH in mind. With Flash being banned in everything except for Vintage, it does little more than serve as a history lesson for new card design and power level erratas. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more common combos. Like the video if you feel it deserves it, and comment down below any combos you'd like us to cover in the future.